What it says, what should I do if one is violent? You got two choices. First of all, you should be very careful about the person you marry. And you should see how that person treats his family and treats their mother or whatever. Sometimes you may come from a broken home family, but you should check for this first and foremost. What is his temper? What is her temper like? Because sometimes it's not just the man that's violent. Sometimes the woman can be extremely violent. I've seen some women that, you know, have been like, you think they were just little soft little kitty cats. And you find out you got a lion in your house, okay? All right. You've seen that type of situation. But let me just say this. You should not, if you could all possibly, you should know to try to avoid marrying a violent person. Especially if you know this is a habit. When you see them get angry and you see them become very unreasonable. If you see them become violent where they're hitting things or slapping or even grabbing you, come here. You know, they look at you and you're talking and they treat you nice and they say, come here, I told you to come here. Why'd you walk away from me? That's a red flag. The first time it happens, it's a red flag. And don't think to yourself, well, you know, he didn't really mean it and he'll change later. No. What you see, what you experience in your early time of courtship tells you what you can expect. Especially when those, and especially if time goes on long enough where you can see the hidden characteristic. Now, he might say, I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean to grab you like that. I'm so sorry. Well, that might be well good. But is that a real trait of character that's not been seen? And with it, and the exuberant expression that was on his face, was that something that's just accident? Or is that actually what that person is like under certain types of pressure and anger? And that's what you're going to walk into eventually. Oh, smile in front of your mom and dad. Smile in front of your mom and dad, male or female. But at the same time, carrying this violent streak that could be capable of even murder. So you need to be very careful with this one. What should I do if he is violent? You should not enter into a marriage relation with a person that you see has a real violent streak or real, very fussy. You know, some people get kicks out of being fussy. You don't want a relationship where you got to be fussing all the time. You want peace. God is not the author of fussing. All right. He's the author of peace and love and righteousness and the fruits and good fruits. All right. If a person is already stuck in something like this, then they got to pray for conversion. And they got to pray that that other person will be converted, or they will find themselves having to separate. And eventually they may wind up divorcing, because it's almost better to live alone than be in a house with a violent person, or be in a house with a contentious woman, supposedly the Bible says, on one hand, or a contentious man. It's not, it destroys your fellowship with God and your communion with God, as well as your Christianity, your idea of what you want to be as a Christian. I mean, because sometimes these people become so irrational. You have nice things you've done, and all of a sudden they just tear it up in front of you. In their anger and their rage, they have a lack of self-control, and so I would tell you, don't do it.